Over the past 4 months, Team 1 has come together every Saturday to work on our challenge that we had brainstormed in the summer vacation. Hi, my name is Tony, and on our team we have Gira, Shifa, Serena, Zainab, Hannah, Mara, Julia, Abby, Rashika, and of course, our lovely coaches Philip, Sana, Aparna, and Olivia.
Alrighty, so before we get started, we just wanted to take the time to thank you all for being here today and for all your attention. We've been working really hard on this project. We're really excited to show you what we've got so far. So without further ado, let's begin with our agenda. First of all, we'd like to talk about the recap of our challenge. What were some of the obstacles we had and some of the solutions we had in mind? Then we'd like to talk about our progress on phase 2. And thirdly, we'd like to talk about some of the key takeaways we had in phase 2. And finally, some next steps, marketing recommendations, and feedback. I'd now like to pass it on to Zainab.
All right, so it has been a while since our demo day from phase 1. So here is a recap of our challenge. We began with phase 1 and met Lindsay, pictured in the slide, our challenge partner. Lindsay founded World Changing Kids, a social enterprise dedicated to character education, leadership development, community building, and social justice. She has made a very significant impact within her community and is looking to expand her program with Upstanders Unite, a program dedicated to youth from ages 8 to 13. The program gives youth a platform to talk about real-world issues and come up with actions to help resolve these problems. Her challenge for us was to create a website specifically for Upstanders Unite. The website would focus specifically on creating and designing a landing page with a membership registration. In phase 1, both teams, JavaScript and Python, worked to design different parts of the website.
Our phase 2 challenge was to use HTML and CSS and the help of our new coaches to code a website that implemented both teams' ideas and what Lindsay liked into a new website for Upstanders Unite. According to the feedback that Lindsay provided to both JavaScript and the Python teams from phase 1, we focused on specific parts of the website that she prioritized. This included a landing page, membership page, and sign-up page. We also included a youth page, which was an option feature.
Now we will be introducing all the progress we have made during phase 2 of the program. In phase 2, we achieved a few overall tasks. We were able to design the website and logo, create the framework and interactivity with code for said website, and do it all in a systematic and coherent way.
So our design process for phase 2 was just a continuation of phase 1. We finalized the website design by finalizing our color palette, assigning sizes to specific elements, and the font and sizes for each type of text, like the headings, subheadings, body, quotes, and captions. All the headers were size 28, and the subheaders were size 18. As for the colors for the website, we decided to use red, orange, teal green, and light blue. For the artwork and logo, we made sure to use licensed artwork and used images that fit the aesthetic of the website. We also had to make sure that the logo was simple yet represented what the organization stood for. As shown, we mostly use images that fit within the color palette. So I used Clecky, an online editing tool, to create all the ideas. And in the next slide, I'll be showing the thought process for my logo design. So the first design was made to represent the Earth, which Lindsay's organization stands for. Drawing of buildings and trees represented the balance between civilization and the environment. The second design depicted two people holding up the Earth, which represented the youth being able to come forth and help each other learn more about our planet. And we ended up using the third design, which were two hands raising the Earth out of an open book. So this represents the Earth being held and protected by the hands of humanity. And the book represented how the knowledge to create a better world for all comes only with education, which this wonderful organization provides.
Now we're going to be going on to our coding process. So we first started off with building the skeleton of the website with Replit. That means just figuring out what text has to be on there. And then we had to incorporate the design elements into the code, such as placing our images where we place them using CSS, and then adding interactive elements such as where the links go, such as to an activity that we created into the youth section, but also adding some partial functionality to the website. how did we do all of this efficiently? How did we make sure we were on task and things went smoothly? We arranged all our tasks efficiently with the use of a Google spreadsheet. We blocked out each Saturday of the week and color-coded the progress of our tasks. We also set them up in sprints. A sprint is a short time box period where everyone works on the team to complete a set amount of work. And then these sprints usually are agile and you get a lot of work done in them. It's really productive. And everyone knew what they were doing, what tasks they had, and if there was any confusion, you could follow up on it, but you could just tell what parts were done and what weren't, so there was no confusion. And now we're going to be showing a project demonstration done by Tony.
So here's what you have all been waiting for. This is a video demonstration of our project. As stated before, we started coding on Replit as we had some trouble setting up on Shopify, so we will be showcasing both of the websites. Note that the Replit one is just a preliminary version of the site, and the Shopify version will be the final result. Our coaches have been working really hard to transfer Replit code to Shopify, and will try to get as much done as possible. However, if there are any unfinished elements you would like to modify, we would suggest hiring a professional to do the final touch-ups on your site. So this is just a really brief overview of how our Replit looked like. So basically each page had its own HTML and CSS file. With Replit, we were able to create 4 pages. As shown in our interactive navigation bar, we were able to create a landing page, an About Us page, membership, and youth page. You also mentioned wanting a sign-up page as well. This will be created with Shopify. They will also be handling your payments. Here's our landing page. As you can see, we have established most of the key elements that you'd wanted. We have the Unite With Us Today button, a small infographic showcasing your mission, along with a button leading to the About Us page. This is the letter to the world, specifically targeted towards youth, with a button leading to the youth page if they want to learn more. This is the 3 pillars of Upstanders Unite and what our program offers. The purpose of these sections is to provide parents with insight on the program, with buttons linking to the membership page, where they can learn more about membership plans and monthly themes. This is the testimonial section with reviews from parents, and here our footer, which will be added onto every page. This is where parents and youth can get more information on the program and sign up for the newsletter. Now, the About Us section. Like the Canva prototype from Phase 1, it includes a brief paragraph on Upstanders Unite and a section on you, Lindsay, the founder. We have also included a section on how Upstanders Unite was founded, and of course, a section for our team and how her evolution has contributed to the making of this website. For our membership page, we have included some reasons on why youth should join the program and more details on how to sign up for monthly or full-term memberships. In your final vision document, you also stated that you really like the idea of the hover to learn more themes. So here it is. When you hover your mouse over the month, it will reveal the theme and more information about it. And finally, the youth section. There is a section at the top reserved for videos you want the youth to see. There are also some fun brain boosters and activities. When clicked, they will lead to websites containing articles about recent news and fun activities they can do. Now onto the real deal, which is the site that will be built on Shopify. As stated before, our coaches are still working on transferring our data from the Replit, so there will be some unfinished parts. As you can see, most of the features are the exact same as our Replit. During converting, some positioning may have been messed up, but those can be fixed easily. Shopify also has a built-in email system, so you can enter in your email to subscribe. And again, this is just our About Us page. And this is our membership page.
We will provide you with the link and the password so you're able to view this in more detail after the presentation. Again, our youth section looks the exact same and they are linked to the original articles. Another new feature that Shopify allows us to do is to create an account. This is just me typing in a fake username and password and email. However, it'll work if you use a real email. And you're also able to search stuff up. And there's also a section for a checkout and your order history and personal profile. We are currently in the process of setting up your Shopify store, which is why it doesn't look finished yet. So here's what you have all been waiting for.
Here are takeaways from phase 2. Some of the skills that we learned include working in a large group. It can often become overwhelming since you're not the only person who can control the project. Working with over 5 people means that you have to be able to trust that they're doing their tasks correctly. Having the opportunity to work with a large team and such amazing coaches give us a new perspective of how our potential workflow and future careers will look like. We also went in more depth about how to code with HTML and CSS. Before we started phase 2, I know for my team, we only had one lesson on HTML, CSS, and during this phase, we used a lot more of it. With the help of our coaches, we learned a lot more that we can now apply very easily. For example, with the help of our new coaches, I learned how to style text on a website much better and in a way that looks more professional, clean, and smooth. Like putting different texts in different columns, which then adjust the size according to the device it's being looked at. Of course, with any other important project, we also have to know how to stay on time and organized. Though due dates and having a limited time is very frustrating, having a chart that controls what has been done, what needs to be done, what is in progress, makes it much easier to do with the stress, thus making this time management much easier. This way, we can also stay organized in terms of who is responsible for what. With this chart, we also divided our time and how much time we wanted to spend on each section. Another example is that we worked on Replit together, meaning that we had to be careful not to code over each other, keep the code organized, and to keep the code organized, we had comments indicating where certain sections started or ended, and separated folders for pictures and areas of the website where the code would be located.
Next step and recommendations. First, all information such as your brand name, logo, contact information such as email, and any Shopify-related inquiries such as payment options you would accept should be finalized. Secondly, we would highly recommend hiring a Shopify developer to modify and finish up the site before its launch. Out of all these steps, this is the most optional one. You could also hire a brand strategist or photographer to take the pictures for your website, for example, students who have participated in your past programs, etc. So this is to make your site feel more welcoming and helps you establish your brand. Finally, we recommend making the website responsive and mobile friendly.
Firstly, we would like to recommend using emails to promote and market upcoming events and programs. Luckily, Shopify has a built-in email feature so you don't have to purchase an external plan. Instagram and Facebook are also good ways to market upcoming events and programs. It costs about $7 for 1,000 impressions, so that's essentially 1,000 people will see it.
We would also highly recommend using PPC, a type of online advertising strategy. How it works is you only pay when people interact with your ad. It would show up when someone looks up a specific keyword you pay for. In order to have the ad be strategically placed on the page, you may have to bid for how much you pay for every click, as there may be a competition depending on the word. So, for example, if you want an ad of your site to pop up when youth programs is searched, you would have to bid in order to get a good location. We would also recommend doing more research or to speak with a professional to help get the most out of your budget. Another recommended but more expensive marketing strategy is to use SEO. In simple terms, SEO is the process of getting traffic from free, organic, or natural search results in search engines. It aims to improve your website's position in search results pages. We also recommend hiring an SEO professional to help optimize your website. The only downside is that this service can get expensive, with prices approximately starting at $500. If your budget is not big enough for this, we would recommend sticking to other marketing options.
Overall, our team has made tremendous progress from turning visions into actual code, learning how to combine all our creative minds into a masterpiece and effectively doing so. This phase, we definitely got to see our hard work in our final product, but this wouldn't have been possible without our phase 2 coaches. Thank you, Philip, Sana, Aparna, and Olivia for being such amazing coaches and taking time out of their personal hours to help us with our coding problems. This has been Team 1. We really hope this website has come up to your expectations, Lindsay, and thank you, Hervolution, for allowing us this opportunity to showcase our skills and gain hands-on experience. Thank you.
All right, I'll start. Hey, I'm Matt. Fantastic job on the website. I'll focus more on like the website design and elements like that. I'll let the engineering and the technical side for the others. But yeah, great job. I love the organization, the planning with the Google Doc, even breaking down your color palettes and making sure you had stock images that didn't have licenses attached to them. You'd be amazed how many merchants come to Shopify and don't even consider those things. So really great job, like thinking about those elements. The one thing that I would like to recommend, and it's more for like Lindsay on the courses and like the education side, for these types of websites where you're not necessarily selling products, it's more of like a service and like education things. You really want to build up why they want to get these courses, the backing there, maybe even like provide some small sample courses, things like that, just so like when people who aren't necessarily familiar with your program come to the site, have a little bit more idea of like why they want to sign up and why they want to pursue this. But yeah, fantastic job. It was amazing.
Yeah, I would echo what Matt said. I thought it was really well done, and something to do with the technical side is that I'm really, really impressed by the amount of technical work. I know working on like the same code base with a lot of different people is challenging, and it's hard to keep track of all the different changes. So kudos to you for finding a strategy that worked for you and for making sure that everyone is involved. I wanted to ask you guys actually, what was the most unexpected thing you learned when deep diving into something technical using a brand new platform?
Okay, I think I'll go. For us personally, like when we decided to use Replit and we wanted to go deep dive into, just learning how to code and everything and using our code properly, I think what really technically was challenging for us, it was making sure that we don't overrun each other's code. Because I know we're all on the same code base and we're all coding on the same platform. So it's possible where like when we assign sections to everyone, I know there was a time where like sometimes my images or what I put into the code would overlap everyone else's stuff and it would mess up their code. So it was very challenging to figure out how I can not mess up others' code, but also make progress on mine. And you could do that by either making a separate file and testing your code out first before you implement it back into the original code, just so that if you do delete anything or make any changes, it doesn't affect others.
Awesome. That's actually very similar to what me and my team do every day at work, is that we have like one main file that, or branch or whatever you want to call it, that has like the changes that are going out live into the world, and everyone else has their own version where they will eventually transfer to the main one. Something I really loved was how much marketing focus there was. And I did notice that while you mentioned different types of marketing strategies, I wanted to know if you ever considered things like social influencers or using a combination of organic marketing strategies as well as like the more, like what you mentioned before, like PPC and SEO. Maybe that's something to think about.
I think that is certainly a great insight and a very effective way of marketing that we could discuss further and go from there. Yeah.
Awesome. Great work, everyone.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Hi, I'm Jose. Very well done. That was very impressive. I loved, as to Matt's point too, I love the organization of your workflow. Our team uses something similar, and the color coordination and like assigning really helps, especially when you're doing quick glances. So well done on that. Yeah, I think you guys did a great job. Really clear call to action buttons, which I appreciate on the landing page. That's very important. And I think one thing to look at too is you mentioned PPC advertising. Google does offer grants when it comes to certain initiatives for PPC. So that's one thing to consider. I mean, I know they have a huge budget for grants when it comes to NPOs. So well done on the research, but yeah, that's really great. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of summed it up super well. You guys did a phenomenal job. I'm so impressed. Also, the fact that you guys had to kind of do it on the 2 platforms and then you're kind of in the process of porting it over. Super impressive, honestly. I especially liked when you're talking about how you're kind of keeping your coding organized, because this is something I struggle with, just kind of doing my business on my own. So I'm definitely going to take actually some pointers from you guys with the internal notes, because I don't use those enough in my own code. So I really appreciated that hot tip. But yeah, and I think really kind of leaning into making the website mobile friendly is a really good move. I know that's one thing that you'll see a lot of people do. They'll kind of put more focus on maybe the desktop platform, and then all of a sudden they realize, oh, the mobile friendly, because obviously so many more people are accessing websites on their mobile devices. Very good to look into. So you guys have a phenomenal plan ahead of you. So again, great, amazing job.
Thank you. Lindsay, would you like to say a couple of words? Any feedback? What do you think?
There we go. I just had to figure out how to unmute. Yes. Yeah, that was amazing. I can't even believe that these are youth creating this. Like that was, yeah, I would have been convinced it was the people at Shopify who made it, for me. The skills you learn too, I would like to, there's so many more, like your presenting skills and just the confidence it takes to be doing this online. Like I couldn't have done this at your age for sure. You guys were just so confident in your presenting. It was amazing. I love the logo and I love the story behind the logo. Yeah, the workflow that you did, that's wow. I don't think most adults do that good of workflows in their jobs. And I love that you added yourself to it, that, on the page that this is the team that made it. Oh, for sure. That is so beautiful, because World Changing Kids is what it is because the youth are leading it. So I love that. Oh, someone wrote guilty to not doing as good workflows, eh? Yes, I know, me too. Yeah, I am completely blown away. I'm so excited to take this and take it to the next step. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, everyone. You guys did an amazing job, and thank you to the coaches that supported the youth to make them look really good during this presentation. So, yes, thank you for that.